11th lecture for system analysis and design, and today we will cover our third learning outcomes second activity, which is to evaluate feedback from clients on proposed solution and make amendments where appropriate. So we know whenever we are working on some project, feedback is the most important factor. Like we need to focus hard on the feedback that we get from the stakeholders, because this is something that gives us the betterments, amendments, and improvements that could be made in our project to make its work better. So we need to focus hard on it, because without the constructive feedback, we cannot make our project improved, and definitely its efficiency will also not be increased. Okay, so we are talking about the feedback. So we will be discussing the proposed solution, in which we will talk about the implementation plan, the deployment plan, the post implementation planning. So all these kind of plans helps us to make our basically, if we are going to implement something, we need to follow a proper plan that will help us to do the whole process. And same as for deployment and the post implementation planning, every process needs to be planned, because without effective planning, we cannot proceed better in our projects. So let's continue. When you think about collecting customer feedback, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of possibilities, because for if you are talking about the customer's feedback, it is something that you can get very easily with so many customers and so many ways to connect with their feedback. Like nowadays, you can get the physical feedbacks and the online ones as well. There are lots of online surveys that we fill up in order to give the feedback to any brand or any activity that we are doing with some other parties. So this is how we can very easily and effectively give the customers feedback to the project or to the thing that we are working with. It's hard to know where to start, but definitely you don't know about the strategies, and then definitely you cannot proceed with them. Without knowing the proper strategies to get the feedback, you cannot proceed. And if let's suppose you will start proceeding with without knowing any strategy of getting the feedback from the customers or the employees, then definitely it will be less effective or less productive for you if you will work without planning. Feedback is a powerful guide that can give you your leadership team insights that chart a path forward for every part of a company. So it depends upon the whole organization, and if you want to see all the insights at one place, then feedback is something that will give you the opportunity to see the whole process or whole system from another eye, from product through UX, the user interface, and the customer support. Everything is covered in the feedback. Like you can, if generally for we are talking about the surveys that happens, and we get some of the questionnaires in which we are required to answer frequent questions. So all those questions are not only related to the working of a software. If we are reviewing a software application, it contains the information of multiple components. Like there are lots of things that are working with us in that particular software application. So it will be covering all the factors, like the user interface, the customer support, like the billing methods, the shipping methods, and all the other stuff that is related to that product. They will cover all the questions that can help us to get the feedback from people. And when the customer will give you the feedback on that questions, definitely you will get the data that will be directly related to all the fields of your process or the project that you are following. That's especially important when it comes to customer satisfaction, because customer will let you know if they are happy and satisfied with your products and the services that you are providing or not. If they will not be very happy with your product and the project that you have created, then they will give you a feedback and you can make the improvements into it. What is customer feedback? Actually, it's the information, insights, issues, and inputs shared by your community about their experience with your company, product, or service. It could be anything for which you are getting the feedback from customers. Customers will give you the feedback on the basis of all the things that are related to your product. If it's only the related to the issue that they are having, they will give you complete details about the issues. And when you will be gathering feedback from multiple variants, then definitely you will get multiple issues, and then you can easily come up with the solution to all those issues that are uh, playing a part of hurdle in your success. This feedback guides improvements of the customer experience and can empower positive changes in any business, even and especially when it's negative. And negative feedback means that when you get the negative feedback, you get some of the constructive ways with which you can make the improvements in your system. So if it is the negative feedback that you get, you don't need to like start behaving like you are not the one who is accepting it or it's not the reality. You need to accept each kind of feedback open heartedly so that you can see that difference in the improvements that you will make. When you get the negative feedback, it's something that will help you to drive positive changes in your business. So it's always whenever you get the negative feedback, you need to work on it and make the improvements. You don't need to think of it like the product is not successful or your working is not as per the expectations, because we need to make changes in our system to make it reliable and suitable for the environment. Customer feedback is something that will give you the guidance, like a path that you need to follow in order to achieve the growth of your company. If you want to grow, you need to get the feedback and you need to work on that feedback. Most of the people who don't grow in their businesses or the working capacities are the ones who don't give importance to the feedback, because if they are getting the feedback, like if someone has given them some of the suggestions about their products or the services that they're providing, they don't think that this is important to them. They think like they are doing their best and ultimately they don't need to make any changes. But this is something that is not good for their business and their business growth. So everyone wants to get the best outcomes from their business. So if you want to get them, you need to work on the all the rights and all the wrongs that you are doing, and you need to see which kind of thing is good, going to be working as the right path and which is the wrong path for your business. Once you get to see it, you need to get the reviews from different people. It will help you to make the better suggestions. Within the good and bad, you can find gems that make it easier to adjust and adapt with the customer experience over time. So, with the passage of time, you get better things if you are going to work on all the goods and bads of your business. So, the most effective customer feedback methods that we have are seven in number, and we will see what it is actually. Without a clear intention, your feedback may not serve anyone. So this is a code that must need to be followed if you are not getting the feedback from right audience. Like sometimes people do get the feedback from the people that are not using their application, and with which what they do is they generally go through the application and give them the feedback. Ultimately, this feedback is not constructive for their application. The user who are actually using it with having the clear intentions to use it will give you the feedback that is more appropriate for your application. So you need to find out the best audience that will give you the feedback as per the expectations. So the first way is to do the customer feedback surveys. And developing a useful customer survey may be more challenging than you think. There are a ton of questions that you could ask the customers. The good news is you can choose between short slider surveys, which helps your target specific issue that pop up on your site, or longer traditional surveys. So we have two kinds of surveys that we can conduct. If we are only working on a survey that will cover only one specific issue, like let's suppose the people are not feeling that the interface of your application is good and they are not very conveniently using it. So what you can do is you can simply do a survey which will only be consuming the questions that are basically directly related to the user interface. There will be no other questions. But if it is a traditional survey, then it will be a longer survey in which you will be having the questions from all over the site, and ultimately there will be each and every question related to the application. And why the short slider survey is a good news, because it is something that could be used nowadays, and people feel interested in giving the short slider surveys rather than having a very long survey that they need to fill up. Sometimes they don't have enough time to give you the survey, and ultimately they don't give it with right intentions. So that's how you need to make sure that your survey is going to the expected audience and also they are giving you the clear intentions from their feedback. So if you want customers to follow through on completing a survey, make sure you follow some simple best practices. And what are those practices? You will only ask the questions that help you meet your goals. Like the questions should be directly related to the goal that you want to achieve. You will write thoughtful open-ended questions. Like open-ended questions are the one that are giving them the idea or the time to give their suggestions. Sometimes we give the surveys or the questionnaires kind of thing in which people just need to choose from the given options, just like the questionnaires normally we fill. But in the open-ended questions you get more opportunities. Like there are lots of chances that someone will who will have more accurate ideas in their mind will share their thoughts on your issue, and ultimately you will end up getting some of the possibilities that will help you to achieve your goals in a better way. Then you will create consistent rating scales, and the rating scales are the ones that helps the organizations to achieve the goals, which will basically serve as a opportunity for you and your whole business. Because sometimes if they are more likely choose the interface that is like directly close to the highest grades or the scales, then definitely you can think it is a better way. But if they are not liking it, they will go to the lower ranges, like the lower scales. If the 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest, they will move between them. So you need to create a consistent rating scale which they can easily follow, and they can give you the review on it. Then you need to avoid leading and loaded questions. Leading and loading questions are the kind of questions which are having too much stuff in it already, and you are and the customer or the person who is going to give you the review will think that this is something very difficult for them to understand, and ultimately they are not interested in answering those questions. The questions should be basic, small, and easily understandable for the audience so that they can easily answer it. Next one is email and customer contact form. Email is one of the easiest ways to gather the candid customer feedback. Candid is something that is totally unplanned, and because it's a support channel for most companies, you can use each interaction as an opportunity to gather feedback. So this is how, like, whenever you are going to add the customer contact form at your website, most of the times customers give their feedback to you and your site. If it is having some of the issues, if they are really liking the products and they are very enjoying the services, then they will give you a good feedback. So this is something that first of all, it will increase the chances of people to get attracted to it after seeing the different kind of reviews on your site. However, the contact forms will let you get the feedback directly from the customers. Sometimes the email is attached, which helps the organizations. Just like the if we see that there are lots of government applications that are running, and what you can do is if you want to make any changes in the application, and if you want to get another service or anything that you want to get, you can simply email them the issue and they will get back to you as soon as possible. And definitely this will help them, the organizations, to get the idea like what are the issues the people are seeing there in their experience and how they need to resolve them. So this is a support channel. It maximizes the likelihood of hearing back from a customer. Do these three things if you are doing the email and customer contact form to get the feedback from the audience. You need to set clear expectations in which you are having direct expectations that you want to achieve. You will organize email feedback. Like every feedback should be organized so that you can get the results in time when you want to. See, if you are having lots of feedback and they are not in line and organized, then you cannot understand for which activity or for which reason this feedback is related to and how you can pursue it. So there must be a proper team who will organize the email as per the requirements, and also the fields and the pages. If it's an application, then it should be related to the pages and the experience, the interface, the customer satisfaction level, and all the other stuff. So it should be related to it should be well organized so that whenever you are going to review them and you are going to make some improvements, you don't need to work a lot on the organization of your email. It should be automatically organized by using some of the applications or maybe some of the team members who will do the organization for you. And at the last, you need to send personalized responses. Personalized responses are the ones that you get automatically. Like if you have sent some email to a well-known company, or the nowadays almost all the companies are having the personalized responses, which are directly related to give them the idea that they have received your email, and they will reply to you within their working times, and they will try to resolve your issue as soon as possible. And then when the team gets the issue, they do the work on it, and they personally reply to the person. Just like if you are getting some of the internet services from an organization that is giving you the services, then and you have sent them an email that there is some issue in your connection, so they will first you will get automatically generated email which will let you know that they will send you the proper details about the issue within the next 24 hours. And after that, when the issue is checked, the team member or the coordinator who has been working on your issue will let you get the briefing of your issue, and they will let you know the ideas or the terms that you can use in order to solve your issue. So this is the process in which you can get the customer feedback, and also you can resolve their issues as well by personalized response. Next one is the usability test. For usability testing to bring deep insights to your company, it requires more upfront planning. With a clear strategy, so you can uncover challenges that customers don't know they are facing, and actionable insights that make their experiences better. Sometimes people are really unaware of the issues they are facing, and they generally want you to make the changes in the system, whatever you are going to make, and they will be very satisfied with it. However, if they are facing the issue, just like if someone is facing an issue in the functionality of your website, and they think that there is something that is not working fine from their internet connection, they are thinking the issue is in the internet. However, the issue is directly from their website. So this is something that you need to work on. Like the changes should be managed properly and understandable. Once they will get the good usability testing, they will test the ease of working from the site, and then they will get the responses. Then we have exploratory customer interviews. Okay, so does a direct outreach translate to beneficial feedback from customers? Absolutely, it does. Reaching out to customers directly open up conversations that otherwise wouldn't happen. So if you will go to get the feedback from your customer directly, it will help you to get their feedback on time, and definitely it will be a direct response. Qualitative stories from customers bring color and nuance to the quantitative feedback, like the data that you get. These personal experiences help a team understand that the feeling behind customer decision and the community responses to a company's brand or decision. So this is something which needs proper explanation of customers interview. Like you will ask them the questions, they will give you the feedback, they will give you the responses directly that will be coming from their mind, and they will share their experience with you properly. So this is how you can make the quantitative feedback, like the quantity of feedback is detailed in this kind of interview, and you can get more more out of the customers than simply getting the relevant data, like choosing from the number one and two for the customer satisfaction and for the user interface. If they are going to give you the quantitative feedback in which they will share their thoughts with proper explanation, then you will get like what are the things that they need to make the changes in the user interface or any other page that they are doing. So these personal experiences helps a team to understand the feeling behind customers decision and community response to a company's brand or decision. So this is the whole process that every if we are talking about multiple ways to get the feedback, there are lots of ways to get the feedback from people. Every way has different advantages and disadvantages. You need to think of it properly, and you need to see that every action is working properly fine. Okay, so next way to get the feedback from your audience or the customer is the social media. Social listening can give you access to an otherwise untapped reservoir of candid feedback from customers. Social media is something when in on your social networks, if you are sharing the thoughts and ideas with people, then what will happen is people will directly comment on your post, and they will mention you on some social networks if they are having the issue. Nowadays, if people get the services poor from some organization, they start posting on their social media by tagging them in, and people who are having access to their accounts can get the idea that this feedback is not related to them, so they don't enjoy the services from your side. So this is how you need to manage your services. The one thing is like to you get the feedback from the people at a greater level. However, if it will be a negative feedback, it will definitely stop people to get the services from your side. So you need to make sure that you are working on your lags properly and improving them day by day. Many networks include built-in polling tools that let the people uh, get their give you the votes so that you can get to know what are the services that you need to change and how well they are performing. If they are not working fine, then you can get the ideas to make the changes from the comments of the people on your social media accounts. Then we have on-site activity via analytics. You can get the feedback, and the analytics reveals what customers don't know about how they use your product. Especially if you sell a digital product or service, you benefit from leveraging analytics to understand how user interact with your company. Just like that, I would like to give you an example here. There is a website, like an online website, which is selling some of the goods. And once I made like I was about to make an order, and unfortunately, I was not able to. I added some of the things to the cart, but I didn't finalize the order. So what happened actually, the company called me and they asked me why I have not been confirming the order. So I was worried why I didn't made any order, and how do they know, and they are asking me for making the payments and then finalize my order. So they said that you have added some things to your cart, and with that cart, we have seen that you have made some of the items out there, but you didn't finalize your order. So this is a way like you can get the insights from your analytics. You can see how people are dealing with your product. So they think that if there is something like an issue for me to place an order, they can resolve it out for me, and ultimately I can make the order. So this is one approach with which you can make the people get the better experience from your site, and ultimately you can get the responses from them. And with that change, what happened actually, I get to know that they are working hard on their customer satisfaction. If they asked if there is any issue for me and why, if there is something bothering me to make an order, then they can make some changes for me. So this is how the companies work on the analytics to leverage the experience that they are giving to their customers. So, for example, if you offer self-service content as a form of customer service, you could see the number of people visiting each article. So, if the more people are visiting that particular article or place, or the it could be any application. If more people are enjoying it, getting the services from it, then definitely you will go to it. Just like if you are going to dine out and you are not aware of the restaurants and the areas for which you should go, and let's suppose if you are new to that area, what you will do is you will simply go to Google and check that like the areas in which you can like you are residenting at that time. You can search for the areas, and ultimately you get a list of restaurants that are giving the dine out options. And then what you can do is you will see the reviews of customers, you will see the number of people who are visiting them, you will see the reviews on the quality of food, and then you will select one and then you will go out. This is one way that will help you to get the better experience from the services. Like, this is an advantage of internet in our life, so we can say that this is something that helps us to make our experience better. So on-site activity is something which let us get the feedback from our tools and our services by seeing them how people are getting the results out of it. Then next one is the instant feedback from your website. This is the one thing that is most common way to get the feedback. If you are selling something, some products that you are selling on your site, then you can easily get the feedback from your site. People do give you the feedback on your product directly at your website, and it makes easier for the other persons who are interested in making an order, and then they can easily purchase your products. With an embeddable on-site widget like Beacon, you can collect instant customer feedback without asking the customer any question. This is something, the more advanced form of getting the customer feedback. This is a widget which will be added to your site, and it will collect the insights from your customers, like how well they are. If someone just visited your website and then get back to the internet scrolling, it will be mentioned in your result, and the widget will let you know that this is something not good, like the people are visiting your site but they are not making any purchase, and just like if they have added something to cart but they are not making the order, then there must be an issue within the order placement, so you need to work on it. So this is how you can choose which thing needs improvement, and after that the direct feedbacks will let you know how many number of people visited, only how many people made an order, and how people likely to stay on your site. All these factors help you to understand the overall experience that you are getting. It will be something that will help you to understand things in a better way. These were the factors that we were talking about, like the 7 ways to get the feedbacks from customers. Collecting customer feedback is crucial. Why? Because customers can transform every aspect of your company for the better if you listen to their feedback. Think about your most pressing goals and start with one clear, simple method for collecting customer feedback before expanding out to more complex tactics like usability and analytics. What you can do is you can go for other ways to get the feedback from them. Because if we talk about the usability testing and analytics, for these things, you need to have a proper and professional team who will work on it and who will get the feedbacks. But there are multiple other ways to get the feedback that are basically the direct ways and exploratory ways, which helps you to get the feedback very easily. So you can start with those, and then if there is something that is like your goals are not getting accomplished with them, then you can move to the other ways as well. Next thing is the implementation plan. Implementation plan is something that will let you to follow a proper process in order to implement your product. First, it's in your best interest to prepare to receive feedback. What this looks like may vary from person to person. Definitely, you will get different feedback from different people, and they will give you the feedback that will be related to their expectations and their experience from your side. But when it comes to hearing feedback about yourself, you can never be sure exactly what you are going to hear. So be mentally ready to potentially hear something that criticizes your managing style or how you do your work. Because sometimes people directly criticize the way you are working. Like if they will think that your services, like the customers' services or the health and any other thing is not working as per their expectation, they will directly say that your customer, like your behavior with the customer is not satisfactory. So this is something that you need to work on. Maybe at that time it was only happened because of some uncertain happenings, but still you need to be ready to hear such kind of compliments from the people. Check your ego at the door and be prepared to sit back and listen. Next, schedule one-to-one or feedback meetings. Here, you will let your employee or direct reports know that you are seeking their feedback as a way to improve and grow as a manager. So, if you want to grow, you need to make sure and let them know that you are getting their feedback just to make your experience better, and your experience will be better after when you will get the feedback and you will work on it. Like, not only thinking that this is not working fine for you. During these conversations, be transparent regarding why you are asking for feedback and what you are looking to gain from it. It's extremely important to stress that no matter what's said, there wouldn't be any repercussions and consequences. So you need to be ready for all the consequences that are arriving to you. Next one is the deployment plan. When you are getting feedback, it's crucial that you document what's being said. Having a recording tool makes this easy so no one forget what's said, and so there is a record of the conversation. If an employee is concerned about the record or having their name attached to the feedback, reiterate that feedback can be anonymous and that there wouldn't be any consequences to what is shared. So this is one thing that allows the customers and the people who are going to give you the feedback that their thoughts will be safe and they will not be misused at any cost, and their name will not be exploited, and ultimately their feedback will be anonymous. Once the conversation is over or the feedback is shared via survey software, say thank you. Remember that not everyone is comfortable giving feedbacks. Managers should also be gracious of the time and effort that their team members put into thinking about what to say. So this is the whole process. Like once you have made a proper plan to get the implementation, like you have planned everything, now you are going to deploy the plan. Like you are going to get the feedbacks. You need to be ready for everything. You need to think that the privacy or the privacy of thoughts of the people who are going to share their thoughts, like the customers who are giving you the feedback, should be an important factor for you. Like if someone is not very easy in order to give you the feedback, you need to let them know that their feedback will be secured and it will not be worrisome for them in at any cost. You will be working for them and you will just be using their information to make the system improved. Then post-implementation planning. A post-implementation review is an assessment conducted at the end of the project cycle to determine if the project was indeed successful. Let's suppose you have created an application. So if you have created an application or any kind of website, you have deployed that application in the real world and now people are using it. After the implementation, you need to see that the overall project is working fine or not. If it is working fine or not is a question, then you need to ask people about the experience that they had. Like if they had the good experience, they will share it with you and you will be able to understand how you need to manage the things. Post implementation planning allows all team members to provide positive and negative feedback about the project who has been working on the project. Like if they have developed a product, they can give their feedback how well they think it is working. Afterwards, you can use the information obtained from the post implementation planning to improve the future projects. So, definitely, once you came to know about the lags that you have been facing from your system, then it will let you know about the things that you need to make changed in your system in order to achieve the maximum results out of it. And post implementation planning is after the feedback conversation has ended, it's up to you how you want to move forward. When you assess the feedback, decide what you want to change based on the feedback. Okay, so once you have got the feedback, now it's up to you. If you are going to use it for making the suggestions and improvements in your system, then it's going to be working for you. You need to ask yourself what you can be doing better or what you can change to bring the feedback into reality. Like if someone has shared their thought to make the betterment into your user interface, if you are not willing to change it, definitely you will not be going to do so. But if you think that this change will also increase the overall experience of user and you will get better results, then you will definitely think to change it. Once you have decided how to proceed, make an action plan. Action plan is something which will let you know what you are going to do. What the plan consists of will depend on the type of feedback you have been given, but it could entail setting milestones and goals for yourself. So it depends upon you which kind of milestone you have set and what you are going to achieve. Like if you are going to make the changes in your user interface, you need to make an action plan, like how you will start making the design and how you will work on this feedback till the successful implementation of the new user interface that you have been going to make that user interface. Managers should also express gratitude to the team again so everyone know you are thankful they took the time to provide the feedback. Tell them what you are working on and how you implement their feedback. Like once you have decided to do some post implementation planning, like you are going to make some action plans for the changes that you are going to make or as per the result of the feedback that you have gathered, then you can use it to make the experience even better. This will help you to overall give the user a great experience when you will inform the team that you are working on their feedback and you are going to make the changes, then they will feel overwhelmed and also they will be satisfied with the overall motivation level that you are going to give them. This is our today's lecture. Like we were to evaluate the feedback from clients on the proposed solution and make amendments where appropriate. We have discussed the variant ways. We have discussed about some of action plans that could be made in order to get the feedback and get the work done as per the results of the feedback that we have gathered. I hope it is cleared. Now we have some of the questions. If you have any question, you can ask me, and if there is no question from your side, you need to answer the questions.
I think the best way to collect feedback from from the consumers is that you have to ask a follow-up question such as what is the what how is the user experience is the on the website or app? Was there any fault? Was there any delays coming from the customer side? Was there a jet lag between the app or the application from from the consumer to the user experience? Like we have to ask follow-up questions so we can understand what the user needs in that application or website.
Okay, perfect. Well explained. Abdurrahman, your answer is correct. It's a great way to get the feedback because it helps the organizations to make further improvements into the system. Okay, then I'll see you in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.